So before we get started, we've been thinking about doing this for a lot of years at this point, and we are finally just
Finding the courage to do it.
getting around to it. So welcome to Culture Over Competition, um, where we're gonna discuss.
The difference between really the importance of building the culture of the program so it's authentic to your purpose over high level performance, over the necessity to either win or lose it all.
I mean, I think we discuss more than just that,
Oh my God, so much.
just behind the scenes in the industry, and you know, building your culture over just chasing rings.
Yes.
Um,
Really designing and building and acknowledging your purpose as a coach really is having the purpose of building people, of continually addressing and adapting to the problems that come up as a gym owner
yeah.
or as a coach or just as a mentor. There's time and time again you run into people with very specific niche problems that you can answer if you sit down and you listen and you help them troubleshoot.
Well, that's good. So, how many years have you been in the industry?
Do you know that answer?
I know
However,
they
yeah.
don't.
But I've been
Just
coaching
quickly.
since 17, so that puts me at a lot of years, probably around 25 years now. And I've really started leading, owning a gym for about 20 years. So that's leading a staff, that's developing a curriculum, that's building athletes from the ground up. I've had generations of kids that grew into parents that brought their kids that grew into so on and so forth.
So I've been a gym owner or in this industry for 10 years. So not as long as you per
Said
se. But
quality over quantity.
yeah, I think, I've seen a lot of changes in the 10 years. And so I know you've seen even more than that,
I
maybe
know. And
20 years.
even my mentors have seen even more than that.
Yeah. So I think the industry is forever changing. And that's why it's important to build a culture because it's n- the
Right.
competition aspect of it is never going to be the same. And if you're only chasing that, then you're
Oh,
going to,
yeah. Yeah, 100%. Like, I have a mentor that I work really close with that we talk honestly as often as possible. And we discuss, the good old days. We start, we discuss, what's happened currently. And it's just the generations of people that technology has changed over the years, have changed the way that you communicate, changed the way that you adapt to problems, changed the resources that we have. Science has caught back up. Back in the day, coaching was a lot different. Uh, you know, so was everything. So was
I mean,
theology was
of
different.
course, everything changes
Yeah.
and
So
evolves. Um, I think what we've learned, so since we no longer own a gym and we're moving more into the consulting coaching role on the other aspect of it. And I think a lot of what we've learned is, gym ownership is heavier than it looks. From the outside looking in, it looks easy and it is anything but easy. And I think that we have learned that through all the ups and the downs, from being in COVID and having 20 kids in our program. We were down to 20 kids and then growing it right before we sold it to
500.
500,
Yeah.
between all of the programs that we've built, not just competitive cheer. Um,
Yeah. But there's been seasons of there's been seasons of, growth where you've had hundreds of peoples in your all-star program. And then the rec teams have been struggling to go, or the recreational programs have struggled. And then the recreation teams popped off, and then
yeah,
your all-star teams. So the
no,
seasons over the
it
years,
fluctuates.
yeah, have been
I'm just
fluctuating.
saying it's heavier than it looks.
Oh my gosh.
And that's just and I think coaching is leadership. It's not necessarily control. And I think we'll cover that in episodes to come. But
Yeah.
and it's about leading
And
and not just trying to be in
and
control.
that's kind of what brought us to these chairs,
Yeah.
is that there's so many people, like, we get calls from, people that we know that are struggling as a coach owner. Uh, and they talk about, like, why why did I choose this decision to take this walk as a coach? And We have a 25-year-old son that is struggling, and he's like, it is such a long day, and it's emotionally draining. And to help him say that, hey, there's purpose in it. You just have to get through the low seasons, and you have to be anchored on why on earth would you devote all of your energy and all of your understanding and all of your patience and all of your effort to people that come in and that will come in and leave without any effort. And then
Right.
you anchor yourself on kind of what would Jesus do?
Yeah. Yeah.
What would he do? Would he give you the effort, or would he walk away when things get a little tough?
Why do you think that culture matters more than trophies? In like a short answer.
I, I-
I'll
the
give
short
you
answer,
mine after, but
yeah, the short answer is there's going to be tiny a tiny percentage of your athletes that will become professionals, but all of them will become adults. So your goal of building grit in these kids is just going to make them better adults. It's going to make them better humans. It's going to make them harder to break over time. And you want to be able to give them that mental toughness and instill those values that I'm certain their parents want instilled. And since you have the platform to speak to them and coach them and help them grow, it is your responsibility to use those things to help them. You use your resources to help them be a better adult.
yeah. I mean, I think culture matters more than trophies because at the end of the day, if you're having an off season because it happens, we all have off seasons and you're only chasing that trophy. If you're
Yeah,
not getting the trophy that year, if you have no culture, what do
yeah.
you have?
That
So I think the culture carries you through the good and the bad. And so if you don't build that
oh, it gives you
culture,
staying power, 100%.
yeah, I'm saying, so if you don't build that culture first and you're just like, "Oh, we win, 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 win." When you don't win,
Oh,
then you have nothing.
it's funny. Every coach that has been at the very, very top will understand that.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think there is culture in all of those, you know, big name programs. They have an incredible culture.
Well, it depends. Not everybody
Not
has it.
everyone. I'm saying
So,
there are very,
yeah, the people that have the staying power that build a,
but ask
pr-
them. They'll say they build culture.
yeah, I mean, everybody says they build culture,
Well, you see it too, I think. I
and
think it shows.
you'll see that in the character of your athletes.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Is like everybody has a really good brand, or everybody has a really
Yeah,
good.
but I remember being on stage with one of the top programs in the country, and we were in a division together, and they had an off day, and we beat them, and they sat with our kids and held hands in a circle
Oh yeah.
and cheered for us.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, like, that is from culture.
Yeah. That been.
That like, they
There there are a bunch of good humans down there.
they win humbly, but they also lose humbly, and
Yeah,
I think that is
and a lot of that grows in seasonal. Like there are groups, there are teams that stay together that have a culture just on their team, not necessarily throughout the entire program.
yeah, I get that.
So
But I
like,
think it's pretty gym-wide. But anyway, we can get into that later. I think, our faith obviously helps how we lead too. So, I
yes.
mean, just touching on that.
Well, stepping out of just realizing that experience and knowing how the sport works and knowing what keeping kids safe and keeping athletes away from, impactful injuries and keeping the program ran appropriately, and like those things are massive concepts to focus on and to adapt a safety congruent program. But character building now is as important with social media just tanking their emotional staying power because of like instant gratification or because of internet bullying. A lot of the times they're 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 emotionally just bankrupt. So as a coach nowadays, beyond what it was like in the 90s and early 2000s, you have to adapt for that. You have to give people as much of an anchor to something that is that is stable. And for me, that's my faith, and being able to hand that off to people that are willing to receive that message is invaluable
Yeah.
because it never it never shifts. You know, you may have dark seasons where you get shook, but you will never ever lose it. There's never a point to where your your purpose and what God has put for you doesn't exist.
Mm,
He's your source of grace
yeah,
and all that. And that took a while. I mean, it took years for me to learn. And kids need that early on now because it's just the internet is vicious. Like
yeah,
social media is and will always be vicious in the wrong circles. And in the right
right. I think
circles,
it's great.
the message is
It
great.
is great to have that reach, but it's also very scary,
Oh, it's a double edged sword.
um, for sure. Um, and I think that this podcast will stand for, honesty over hype, which is huge.
Oh
I
yeah.
think in this industry, integrity and scoring conversations,
Oh yeah.
not being afraid to have the hard conversations because we know the score sheet is one of the biggest
Oh yeah. It's a
hurdles in this industry. And,
well, we can go back and forth with thinking that it should be more objective, it should be more
it
subjective,
is,
or cheerleading should be
again,
more
that's
art.
for a
And it,
later time,
yes.
you know, and then just being strong in leadership. And we know a lot of gym owners are husband and wife teams, or maybe they're friends, but either way, maintaining that relationship
Work life balance.
through yeah, and in leadership, I think that's important. And then just, building sustainable gyms, not flashy ones. How do you survive the highs and the lows? I think that's big. And anyway, I think that we believe that this industry can be competitive and still be healthy. And, we can believe you can win without losing yourself.
Oh yeah.
I think that's huge.
Yeah, I think
So
that's
I think that's kind of where we're setting our tone for this podcast.
yeah, I'm just excited to talk to my wife. That's it. I still like you.
Well, that's good. Glad I still like you too.
Um, I mean, there's gonna be a ton of the stuff that we're gonna go over as far as every aspect of owning a gym and every aspect of coaching. We get the chance to bring on special, guests and stuff like that.
Yeah, which will be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so stay tuned for episode 2, which will be the reality of gym ownership, the part Instagram doesn't show you.
Well, well, it's because it's
No.
not flashy. Nobody's excited to see the stuff that Instagram doesn't show you, like
Okay.
the
Yeah.
huddle and the screaming, and then the beat in the stage, and then the the victory at the end, or the heartbreak, and
You
the
can't give them too much. We're just baiting them in for the next episode, Tom.
you're not gonna want to miss this.